Hello everyone, welcome to 10th Maths online classes. In this video, we are going to revise the next topic of quadratic equation. The topic is nature of roots. Now this topic is very important with the examination point of view. We will definitely get some question from this topic. Now let's see what is the nature of root. Now nature of roots can be determined by finding a term called discriminant. Now for a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, the expression b square minus 4ac is called discriminant. Okay, we know that in the previous video we learnt about quadratic formula. In that there is a term inside the under root part, that is b square minus 4ac. That term is known as discriminant. So here d is equal to b square minus 4ac. Now for the nature of roots we have three cases. D can be equals to 0, greater than 0 or negative 0. Okay, now case 1, if d is greater than 0, that is if it is positive, the roots are real and distinct. Okay, the roots will come out to be a real number and they will be distinct. Distinct means they will be different from each other. Like one will be 2, the other will be 4, the one will be 3, the other will be 10. Or they can also be in the form of under root, because they are real numbers and irrational number also come in the category of real numbers. So root 2, 2 plus root 2, these can also be the answers. Now if d is equals to 0, that is we get the exact value of d as 0, then we will get roots which are real and equal. The roots will come out to be real. They can be rational, irrational, anything, but they will be equal. That both the answer will come out to be same. That is, we all know that quadratic equation will have two zeros. Okay, there will be two roots. It can be anything. Now for d equals to 0, the roots will be same, like 2, 2, 4, 4, root 2, root 2. Okay, now case 3 is the special case when d come out to be negative, that is less than 0. In that case the roots will not exist, the real roots will not exist, because in 10th class we only talk about real numbers, so there will be no real roots. We will get a term like under root minus of something, suppose minus 2. Now these type of number we have not studied about these numbers. These numbers we will study in our next class, that is 11th class. So these type of numbers are known as complex numbers. So in our syllabus we only talk about real numbers. So in this type of question we will not solve it further. We will just say that there are no real roots. Okay, now let's take an example. Find nature of roots. First question is 2x square minus 3x plus 5 equals to 0. Simply we will just find the value of d. We will just put the values of b, a and c in this figure. Now these values of b, a, c we have already put in the quadratic formula in the previous video. So I think we can easily put here also. So minus 3 square minus 4 into 5 into 2. After solving we get that the value comes out to be minus 31. So this is less than 0. So no real roots exist. Now second part and third part are similar. We will just find d and we will see what is the answer. In second part d comes out to be 0. So roots are real but they will be equal. In third part the answer comes out to be 12. So it is positive, greater than 0. So roots are real and distinct. These three results we have to remember while doing this chapter, because this is very important to remember that. Okay, now note, before applying quadratic formula always check discriminant as roots only exist for d greater than 0 and d equals to 0. It says that in any question before applying quadratic formula always check that whether the discriminant is negative, positive or equals to 0, because in some cases d comes out to be negative and in that case we don't need to solve the question any further. So always check it. Okay, now let's see a statement problem related to it. Is it possible to design rectangular park of perimeter 80 meter and area 400 meter square? If so, find length and breadth. Okay, it says that is it possible. Whenever a question starts with this or it has a word like this, is it possible, then it is asking you that whether we are able to find a rectangular park like this or not. So basically it says that find the discriminant, that is find the nature of the roots over here. Okay, so according to question, suppose we are taking length as L and breadth as B. Okay, now we know that perimeter is 80, so perimeter is 2 into L plus B. So 2 into L plus B equals to 80. So L plus B comes out to be 40, and we are finding the value of L here. We can also find the value of B instead of L, that is up to your choice. Now area is 400, that is L into B equals to 400. Now we will apply substitution method, that is we will just put the value of L from the above to the below equation. So 40 minus B into B equals to 400, we will just multiply and we will get the equation as B square minus 40B plus 400 equals to 0. Now we got a quadratic equation, so we will just find D. Now here D comes out to be 0. After solving we got D as 0. So that means the roots are real and equal. That is, the roots exist, they will be a real number, and both the results come out to be same. So basically it is possible to design such a rectangular park if the discriminant comes out to be less than 0. Okay, in any case if it comes out to be 0, then we will just say no, it is not possible to design that. We will just leave the question there. But now here they said that if so find length and breadth, that it says if it is possible to design, then find the length and breadth. So okay, then now we will find the length and breadth by just applying quadratic formula. Now after applying quadratic formula, breadth comes out to be 20. Okay, so length is 40 minus 20, 20. Why 40 minus 20? Because here we found that L is 40 minus B. So 40 minus 20 is 20. So this is the question based on discriminant. Now let's see the previous year question based on this. Write the discriminant of this equation. Same question, we just need to find the discriminant, but first of all we will just solve the equation, that is x plus 5 whole square and 2 into 5x minus 3, then we will find the discriminant. Now question number 10. If discriminant of this equation is 1, then find the value of B. Now in this question discriminant is given as 1, okay, and we can also find the discriminant by our formula. So we will just find the discriminant by this formula and we will just put it equals to 1, because it is given that it is equals to 1. In your question paper you will get many questions like this only, where you will have a missing value and you have to find that, and discriminant will be given in that case. Okay, so there are certain questions related to it. So this was our question number 10, where discriminant was given, so we will just put it equals to 1. Now question number 11 is also same. It says for what value of k this equation have no real root. Now it says it has no real root. What does it mean, no real root? That is, the root doesn't exist. It says that less than 0. D is given to be less than 0. So we will just find out b square minus 4ac and then we will put it less than 0. After transposing we will get the value of k, and we will get the value of k something like this. We will not get the sign of equality, we will get greater or less than symbol only, because the question is about the less than or greater than. Okay, so we will not get the sign of equality in this question. Okay, now let's see the next question. For what value of k this has equal roots? Now equal roots, now we will have to remember the property. When do we get the equal roots? We get equal roots when we have the sign of d equals to 0. So we will just find d and then we will put it equals to 0. Next question. For what value of k roots of this equation are real? Okay, now this is a different question. It says it is real. It doesn't say whether they are equal or distinct. They don't say that the roots are real and equal. They don't say the roots are distinct. Okay, they are saying that they are real. So it can be any of the case. D can be equals to 0 and d can be also greater than 0. So we will just combine both the equation. So we will apply this result, d greater than equals to 0. So instead of applying the results separately, we will just put this symbol in the middle of d and 0. So d we will find by b square minus 4ac and this will be greater than equals to 0. Now with this we end the series of quadratic equation. Till then, take care, keep revising, keep practicing and have a nice day.